That was a great intro, man. Wasn't sure whether you were going to give me some time up here myself.
You did.
You know
You
what
said you had 2 hours. Enjoy.
is this thing working? Can everybody hear me? Yep. Is this good? Okay. Yeah, you know, he made a statement about being tough years ago, being a naturopath. I mean, who knew anything about a naturopath 32 years ago? Let me tell you what we're going to talk about today. Okay? You want to know? Microphone. Huh? It feeds back? They can't even hear it. It'd be good if they would hear it feedback. They're not even getting that. This is good way up here, isn't it? Well, that ain't going to happen. Is this any better? No. Anybody else would be embarrassed standing up here with, what do I care? Any better? Come here. You figured this out. 2 years. And I remember starting a long time ago, like the speaker was saying, what was naturopathic medicine about? Nobody knew what a naturopath was. And naturopaths didn't agree on anything. They're not agreeing now. Like I went into vibrational medicine. A naturopath, the definition of a naturopath, it goes on forever. What do you do as a naturopath? Some people just do herbs and homeopathy. Some do vibrational medicine. Some learn acupuncture. Others learn chiropractic. You know, so the definition of a naturopath is very wide. But I think that the definition we should change, and I want you all to help me change the definition of what holistic medicine is. Holistic medicine is anything, medical, non-medical, invasive, anything that brings the body back into balance. Now you know that we need our medical profession, we need our naturopath, we need everybody. I mean, if I get hit by a car and my guts are splattered over the street, you're going to bring me to a herbalist? Is peppermint tea going to do the job? You know what I'm saying? What you're saying is we all working together. And when I worked in Toronto at a clinic, we would put the patient in the middle, and the patient would tell us a story, and then we would meet as a group of physicians and say, what does this patient need? Massages, colonics, and let's give him some skin testing. Let's give him some electrodermal screening chiropractic. You see what I'm saying? But now the job is on you. It's when you get sick, you never use one therapy. If you have a common cold, you're going to fast, you're going to do lemon juice, and you're going to give yourself an enema or a laxative or something. You see what I'm saying? We have to educate ourselves. We have to come to lectures like this. We have to go to seminars. We have to, talk to people that have had experience in this, or you're not going to get well. And if you want the truth, hang out. If you don't want the truth, you better boogaloo, because you're going to get the truth here. I've been with physicians from Russia, Budapest, Germany, all over the world. And I've been blessed by really some tremendous, tremendous teachers. And this monitoring system that you're going to learn today, you will be able to monitor your jewelry, your supplements, your children. You can line 10 people up and give them all the same B vitamins. It will only work on 4 out of the 10. All these years of doing electrodermal screening, we never found out that the same B supplement can be used for a one-size-fits-all. There's no such thing as a diet for one-size-fits-all. No such thing as a medication. No such thing as a herb. There's nothing one-size-fits-all. You got your own size. That's how cool you really are. Yeah, you're pretty hip out there, man. Yeah. And we got to find out, you see, who we are on all levels. Okay, and I'm not going to get into the spiritual level. There's enough people out there, into aliens and all kind of stuff. But we are spiritual beings. We got a physical body, so we got to learn about ourselves. That's what this whole trip is about. And this monitoring system is so cool because I had a cancer clinic years ago, and it was on the border of Mexico and Arizona, and I was monitoring Dr. Gerson's cancer patients, and they were all so sick. And they weren't absorbing their supplements. My intuition is telling me they're not absorbing. How can a cancer patient absorb 60 capsules a day without blowing out the liver? Is that logical to you? No. And I'm watching these patients, getting sicker and sicker and sicker on the supplements. And, and then I got into vibrational medicine earlier. I'm testing them. I said, wow, the frequency is not right for this person. Okay, now this goes into why I developed a lot of different products, but we need foundational products, something that we can all take that's going to support everything, and then you start picking and choosing what you really need, but you got to find out if you really need it or not. Okay? Now this, I'll tell you a story. How I got into this. I was getting allergy shots, and of course they were preserved in mercury, so I got mercury poisoning. I spent 2 years in bed on my back with mercury poisoning. So I know what it's like to be sick. And I had early signs of rheumatoid arthritis and so on and so forth, and I went through the whole deal. And I was coming home one time, and I used to, my tongue would swell up, my eyes would swell up, my ears would swell up, everything would swell up because I'd get a reaction to these allergy shots. And I'd have to pull off the road and sit there sometimes for 3 or 4 hours and just kind of breathe like, you know, kind of like reminds you of the 60s, doesn't it? Yeah, well, anyway, all right, we got the right crowd here. And until the swelling went away. Well, one day I was doing this, the swelling went away, and I was parked in front of a health food store in 1971. What's a health food store? So I walk in, and there was this Indian lady there, and we've all had significant moments in our life. We just haven't realized that every moment is significant. So I walked in, I met this Indian lady. She met me at the door. I'm trying to make a long story short. And she says, what's your problem? And I said, 33 allergies, rheumatoid arthritis, kidney failure, low blood pressure, thyroid problem. Otherwise, fine. Why do you ask? You know? And she goes, just read this book, and you'll be fine. And it was called The Mucusless Diet Healing System by Professor Arnold Ehret, written in 1919. Okay? Now, all this information is in my book. So, you know, if you freak out, like you miss something, don't worry about it. Buy the book. I have car and house payments this month coming up. So this lady says, well, read this book. It was $1.19, and I was a school teacher back then. I had a $9,500 doctor bill in my left-hand pocket and $1.19 in my right-hand pocket. So I reach in $1.19 in mucusless diet. What is mucus in the first place? You know what I mean? Well, my nose is, you know. Okay, so I get this book. Would you get the book? Yeah. Okay, you would get the book too. I get the book, and the first paragraph, it said, every disease known to mankind is constipation, a plugging up the entire pipe system of the human body. Any local constipation is storage of toxins, poisons, given a name by the medical profession. And I added, and the longer the name, the scarier it is. If you can't pronounce the disease you have, you know you're going to die real soon. You know, when I first started studying, somebody said flatulence, and I said, what's that, man? Do I have it? I said, you sure do. You better hope you do. All right? So I took this, so I said, wow, you know, I was so happy I found out what my problem was. I'm constipated. Okay, now I went up to 230 pounds. I was all swollen up, you know, from the medications I was taking. So I'm all excited. I run into my doctor, who I haven't seen, because the nurses did the skin test. The nurses give me my injections for my allergies, right? I haven't seen my doctor yet. I haven't seen him. After 2 years, I haven't seen him. So I insisted I meet him because I'm excited because I know what my problem is, right? I know what my problem is. So I go there. I finally get a meeting. I walk in. He's about 350 pounds, glasses this thick, no hair, smoking a cigar, drinking a cup of coffee, his feet up on his desk. This is my doctor. Right? I started to feel very insecure at that point. So I said, Doc, you know, I found the answer to all these allergies and all these problems, all these symptoms. You know, it's just the body imprinting on the outside of what's going on the inside. You know? Now, if you know anything about Chinese medicine, we study physiognomy in Chinese medicine. I bounce around all over the place, but I always end up at the same spot. Confused. And when we study physiognomy in Chinese medicine, you know, you look at the lines, like the liver here, small in the lungs, and if this top lip is swollen, the person is constipated. The person is constipated if the top lip is swollen. So you might want to look around, see if you want to change your seat before we get too much into the lecture here. So I'm telling him about this, and he says, well, how many bowel movements do you have a day? And I said, day? I said, Thursday. like clockwork, right? Every Thursday. And he says, no, it has nothing to do with your condition. Now I knew I was onto something. How could one bulb in a week have nothing to do with your condition, right? So this book says that vegetarian was cool, and living on fruit is even cooler. Now, if you people have just walked in, you are going to learn about a monitoring system that you can monitor your health, your supplements, your drugs, everything you're doing. And that way you can also take things that will counter your monitoring system to keep yourself in balance. Everything downstairs you'll be able to monitor. Whether you're wearing a crystal over your head or something, whatever you're wearing, you know, it can be monitored. So anyway, see, I'm going to go back where I was before. Where was I? What? Constipation. See, everybody remembers constipation. Okay, you will be able to tell who's constipated when I do my lectures. They will be the first person to leave. That's how you keep a crowd in the room, see? Huh? Yeah, I know how to keep you in your seats. Okay, so, wow, fruitarian is the way to go, right? Well, you know, here I am, you know, 100% Italian. I'm going to be a fruitarian. Okay, well, needless to say, at 14 Baldwin's the first day as a fruitarian. Okay, now I remember this very vividly because I was dating this girl for the first time. It took me months to get a date with this girl. Months. I'm talking about, I put the hustle on. She wouldn't go out with me. Finally, she's going to go out with me. No, I have 14 Baldwins. And she says, well, would you like to go for a ride? Not really. You want to go for a walk along the river or something like that? Or a bike ride? No. No. She says, how about a movie? And I said, well, there's not really anything on. I mean, I totally blew it. She never went out with me again. Yeah. She didn't find out what the problem was until she read one of my books. Because I told the story, right? And it was her, you know. So anyway, I met her later on, and after we both got divorced, and we're good friends now. But anyway, so, I mean, and that is the truth. You know, we put things in our body that we can't process, and we're not processing our vitamins and minerals and herbs and thinking that we are. You see, there's what we call borrowed research out there in our industry. And that is, when you see 5 things that are good for the heart, put them all in a capsule, man, they gotta be good for the heart, right? But everything is not always compatible, let alone compatible for you. So how do you really know that it's gonna help you, right? Let's see, I got my changer here. See if this works. Okay, this works. Is this the fancy part? No. Well, anyway, look at the, oh, there's a little ball that you roll here. Woo, yeah. Okay. Some people diagnose at this level, the total physical level, even though your body's nothing but energy. Now, listen, and this is the truth. 25 years ago, I got arrested for talking about energy on stage, energy medicine. But yet the medical profession has been using energy medicine forever, right? MRIs, electroencephalograph, all cardiac machines, they're using energy medicine. This is nothing new. They're measuring the frequency that the body's putting off, right? So we got equipment where we measure the frequency that gives us the biofeedback thing, and we read it. If you're a master at the equipment and you have the right equipment, a lot of people are saying they're doing this type of energy work, but it takes a long time. So if we are working, follow this thing here. Anyway, look at the top one. If we're working at the physical level, what's that going to do for us when really the body is a subatomic piece of machinery? What's your cells made of? Molecules? Atoms? Electrons? Pure light? Energy is the term for everything we just said, right? Is energy light? Light is energy? Okay, we're not going too far, right? We're not ruining anybody's religion or philosophy or whatever. So if the body is really energy, why aren't we diagnosing it and looking at it at that level when we take our supplements or whatever we do when we're particularly sick, and we're instead of working at this level way up here? Okay? Remember, the blood is the effect, not the cause. When you take a blood test, urine test, saliva test, that is the result of the subatomic. Just like, right? The physical, well, the physical is a result of the non-physical. Are you with me? Is this okay, what I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay, so let's move it down. Some doctors work at the system level. They're okay, what's wrong with the nervous system, right? The digestive system. Now we have masters in those systems. But we're taking the man apart now, okay? Now we go down to the organ level. There's kidney experts, right? Kidney physicians. Understand what I'm doing here. One to one, I'm taking the human apart. But even though he was together at the top, we're taking him apart as we go down, but we're diagnosing and working at that level. See, this monitoring system is going to take you down to the lowest level where the real problem is. If you have a tumor, that tumor is a physical tumor, but those cells are made up out of what? Right. Energy. True? Let me ask you, please, a logical question. So we're all staying on the same page. Doesn't it make sense to you that if something is pure energy, it should be diagnosed at its own level of consciousness, its own level of experience, its own level of representation, its own manifestation? Yeah. Everybody else is doing it, right? Doesn't that make sense? Okay, not that we're doing anything wrong now because we need every type of physician. Why am I explaining this monitoring system? Why am I telling you this thing? To give you more ammunition. I'm so sorry. You want to? Here, let me get that for you. Go. Hey, listen, wait a minute. I got to turn my cell phone off. It's in my pocket, too. Oh, it's not the first time it happened. Everybody turn their cell phones off. Who's that? Whose cell phone is that? It's mine. Don't let me forget it. Okay, so let's keep going down. Now, we got some physicians that work at the cellular level, don't we? Okay, now we're getting to our MRIs. Now we're getting to the space. Look at me for a second. Everybody look at me. We're getting to the space where there's no space. We're getting to the space where everything counts, where everything is. Now let's start again. Now let's go back to our high school biology. Now you all had biology. You must all took biology. And remember the electrons buzzing all over the place? Okay, well, and then you remember they told you that electrons jump from what? Quantum layer to, Who's good? Yeah, they jump back and forth, don't they? Do you know that when they jump, they disappear and then they end up on the next ring? They disappear for a second, go to a space where there's no space, where there's nothing but space, where that's all there is, and comes back again. You want to leave? You still want to hang out? Huh? Actually, this is simple. Okay? So let's go down now to the subatomic level, and why not be able to be home with a monitoring system, because everything's broken down. Before the body can use anything, isn't it broken down to this level? It is, isn't it? That's our chemistry. If everything is broken down to this level, then everything we put in is going to be broken down to this level. So it's got to be compatible with this level before it's really bioavailable, usable, absorbable by you. Now, this is cool. I was in Buffalo lecturing, I don't know, probably 6-7 months ago. My hometown, my family shows up, all my friends. My buddy's wife's got arthritis. So I said, look, I'll do a special section on arthritis for you, during the lecture. I put her in the front row next to him, right? I get the arthritis, she's sleeping. And I said, Joe, wake your wife up, wake her up. He says, you wake her up, you put her to sleep. In my own hometown, this has got to go on, right? Okay, now watch this. This is 5,000 years old, this chart, okay? And it's a Chinese chart, but it's Americanized now, okay? Now, this is the way the energy flows. Now, don't look at, when I say look at me, just look at me, okay? When you get up in the morning, what do you want to do? Want to take a leak? You want to go to the bathroom, don't you? So there's a certain time every day when organs are very active, more than other organs. Do you know from 1 to 3 in the morning, your liver is very, very active. You know why? Because your liver detoxes at night. Your liver detoxes That's why you don't want to eat late at night, because you're throwing your body into a detox instead of a cleansing cycle. And that is the fountain of youth. That is the fountain of youth. Don't eat after 6 or 7 o'clock. Let your body go through its cleansing cycle, and these poisons will not accumulate in the body. I got to have some water. Is there water in this place? Huh? Somebody grab me a bottle over there? Okay, so now watch this. And this is very cool because in my book, Your Body Speaks, Your Body Heals, I'm telling you how your body speaks to you at the subatomic level. Right? It shows you what activity is active at what time of day, in what meridian, so you will know. Thank you very much. So you will know. And that's me just getting out of the shower. We put on the cover. No, I'm just kidding. So, now watch how this goes. This is 5,000 years old, and it's proven. Energy goes this way from this. Huh?
Have some water.
Oh, yeah. Good idea. Thank you. Oh. Thank you. So now your energy goes like this. That's the way it travels around the body. Okay, and the Chinese have time charts, which says there's always energy in each organ, of course, but it's more in, that's why they give you your supplement at a certain time. If you're in a Chinese hospital and they're using alternative natural therapy, by the way, there's no such thing as anything alternative anyway. There's nothing alternative. And we're not the ones alternative. We've been around for thousands of years in the first place. So there's nothing alternative. Everything here is a unit working at the same time. Alternative medicine, I even put that in my book. You know, we don't want to start naming what's alternative because, you know, we grew up, at least I did, grew up feeling like we are alternative and you are somebody else. Well, that's not what we want because you and I, we have a bigger brain than that and a bigger vision. We're trying to bring everybody together, and you know who's going to do it? It's you people that are educated, because a lot of these physicians don't have time to learn all this stuff, so it's got to be up to you to teach them, not for them to teach you. It's up for you to show, hey, I'm healthy, I'm strong, here's what I know. You know, just don't give me this. Have you ever looked at this? Okay, but anyway, I'm going to move through this stuff, moving through this stuff. I don't want you to get bored. There goes somebody. He's constipated. Okay. Now, look at this inside. See how the arrow goes from here to here to here to here? That's called mother-son relationship. Don't try, listen, look at me. Don't try to copy this. Don't try to write it down. What's important is coming out of my mouth. What's important, it's all in the book, and it's all over there. You're not even going to know how interested you are until you hear me finish this lecture. And while you're looking down and you're writing, of course you can do it if you want. But I'm saying you don't have to. Just get the big idea. You don't have to memorize a thing. For instance, if you are taking an herbal supplement, it'd be nice if I lost my voice after just giving that, right? Now look at it. Let's say you're taking something for the stomach and the spleen, the stomach and the spleen. You're just taking it, right? Because, well, guess what you're doing? At first, this energy is going to go up, and then you're going to start depleting after overworking it by taking a supplement for a long time. Number one, you got that in your head? And also, if you're overworking this, what are you doing down here? You're overworking, and then finally this is going to fail, so you got what? Lower tissues down here. This is getting weak. The energy's not traveling through here anymore. You see, that's what acupuncture is all about. A good acupuncturist will needle this there and needle that there and try to balance this whole thing. Okay? But check this out. Since this got weak because there's too many vitamins and minerals, too many herbs, the wrong drugs, or all that stuff, bad diet, or doing anything for a long term of time. Long term of time. Which one was right? Term of time. Just don't take it too long. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Okay. So if you do that, you are weakening another system. That's why supplements have to be foundational. You have to have a supplement that everybody needs something that corrects that balances the whole thing, and then go out and take what you need, and then monitor it. You got it? That's the way it's done. Does it make sense to you? You have to do and understand that, because, I mean, we used to be maniacs. clean the bowel, enemas, colonics, fiber, laxatives. I worked in and lived in Hippocrates Institute with Ann Wigmore and Victor Kavinskis way back in the 70s, right? And that's all we did. We blew everybody away. Oh, you're not a vegetarian? Oh my God. Okay, just keep your distance. We'll clean you out. We'll clean you out while you're here. I mean, my God. Everybody can't be a vegetarian. Everybody can't be a vegetarian. Don't think you can, because you can't. You'll find out through monitoring this thing. Now, if you really know your stuff, maybe you can. But genetically, maybe you can't. Or maybe you just don't want to. You know? Most of my protein comes from almonds, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, and pumpkin seeds. I soak them overnight in water, rinse them, put them in rice stream, take a shot down, and I'm training. I'm 65 years old. I keep going and going, running the same times I did in high school. That's my main protein. You see? All right, so anyway you understand this, if one part's overworked and there is a weak energy, and at the energy cycle, we're talking energy, we're going to get sick. And guess what? We're all going to tell you, all of us doctors. Geez, we don't know. We don't know. That's why there's such thing. Well, I'll tell you the Juice Plus story, okay? Just so you know real quick how I developed it. I'm working on all these chronically ill people, and I got on a computer. I used my energy vacuum where I can measure all the frequency of all these foods. I measured all the frequency of foods, measured all the frequency of organs, put these frequencies together. 2 years I experimented and came up with a product called Juice Plus, which is the largest selling capsulated product in the world today. I patented it, created it, patented the process, the whole deal. And it is a foundational product. It affects, how do I go backwards now? Going backwards might be a trip. Hey, huh? Okay. When I started measuring the frequencies of all the organs and tissues and the foods that went with them, you know what is strange? Back then, first of all, we knew nothing about free radicals. We didn't know, that cabbage was good for this organs. We knew a little bit like parsley was good for the kidneys. That's, I know what you're going to say, and the cranberry is good. But it wasn't charted out for all. Well, I charted everything out in Your Body Speaks, Your Body Heals. And that's how I put Juice Plus together. And sure enough, 10 years later when I came out with it, we have 26 university studies on Juice Plus, the most researched health product in the world. And I'm not trying to sell it to you, believe me. And we got 12 more going. And you know what they find out? They find out what I tried to tell them anyway. It's foundational. That's why now they're doing gum things. They did liver things, did gallbladder things. They did oxygen tests and found out that, after 2 months on, please don't take any videos of me or anything like that if that's what you're doing. I don't mind a picture, but I don't want these things flying around, okay? And you know all about this legal crap going on today. Well, okay, so Juice Plus is foundational, and that's what they have proven, that it's good for all the organs and all tissues, but I put it together according to energy and these charts. Now we got 26 studies telling me what I tried to tell them back in 1973. See? So you want to use some foundational foods, and that's a little bit about the story of Juice Plus. Now my father, he had cancer, lymphoma, went into his brain, went into the liver. They gave him 3 weeks to live. They took his spleen out. Right. And I was on road lecturing. By the time I get back to Buffalo, I had my clinic in Tucson. By the time I get back to Buffalo, my father went from 190 to 133 pounds. Right? They call us into the office. They call us into the, I got this thing buttoned up still, don't I? Yeah, I got to offset this. I feel like I'm out of style or something. All right, this will do it. All right. Huh? Is this going to work? All right. All right, this is going to work. So they gave him 3 weeks to live. They called our family in. They said, since you're the doctor, you tell your father that he's got 3 weeks to live. Well, you and I know the power of suggestion and all this kind of stuff. I'm not going to say, Dad, you got 3 weeks to live. That's 21 days, Well, he's going to be like this the whole time. He's going to know. So I said, Dad, they're a little confused right now. Would you like to come to my clinic in Tucson, Arizona, and da-da-da-da? Well, when I was there, what do you do with a patient that can't eat, can't drink? He couldn't eat, can't drink. So I put him on a slant board, and I'm feeding him juice in the bowel, okay, like Dr. Gerson taught me and so on, right? And he started to recover, and then I started drying all these fruits and vegetables, put them in powder form, gave them to my father according to the formula I put together years ago for Juice Plus. He recovered, went back to work, construction for 7 years, right? And then, thank you. And this is a true story. You'll see it. It should in print. And everybody that came through the clinic, they got 2 bags. You know, fruit powders, vegetable powders. For 20 years before Juice Plus came out, I was doing that. Everybody got bags. Cops would pull over, reach in the glove compartment. We got you. Oh yeah, you got me. That parsley, strong stuff, man. You ever try smoking that stuff, man? Parsley and kale together, you know. So anyway, let's move on. We're cool. All symptoms are the body's attempt to rebalance. Now check this out. Okay, you might have heard this before. All symptoms. What's a symptom? Is it a cause or an effect? All right. Where's the cause? It must have happened at what level? Oh no! If you guys know all this stuff, what am I doing here? The focus and process of disease is a causal chain. Now, in medicine, we have in natural medicine, we have what we call a causal chain. Now, please check this out for a second. Remember that chart with all those circles in there? To show you how all the organs are connected energetically. Are you with me? Say yes if you are. Yes. Okay. Now, this is very important. Let's say you got a stomach problem. Okay. Well, energy just doesn't flow down meridians because there's 10,000 meridians in the body. We just know major ones. But everything branches out. So if I got a stomach ache, it's going to affect my eyes. It's going to affect my ears. And that's all mapped out. That's called the causal chain. And they can't find out that cause because it's so covered with other symptoms. Oh man, I got bad ears. I'm wearing a hearing aid. You know, my eyes are bad. Look at the skin rash I got. My lower back, my kidneys, my adrenal. That's the causal chain, man. It's all spreading out. The body has a priority that it wants to heal. And you got to be able to find that priority. Because tomorrow you got a new priority. Once you fix that priority, something else is going to come up. And when we do electrodermal screening, we map out that priority. And the body says, can't take any more. I can't take any more. Don't worry about the electrodermal screening. It's very advanced stuff, but anyway. Just understand that you got a chain reaction. See, we're taking the pain and fear out of your disease because the body can heal anything. You just have to use a variety of things. We're freeing you. That's what this freedom thing is. We're freeing you by giving you this type of knowledge. There's nothing that the body can't cure. If it can create it, it can recreate it. All right, now, all right. You know what pleomorphism is? Well, this one's going to freak you out. Go look it up on a computer. You know what pleomorphism is? A virus can change to a fungus can change to bacteria can change to a virus. They're all changeable according to your terrain in the body. It's all in ProMetabolics. This whole lecture is in ProMetabolics. In this chapter on pleomorphism, you got to read it because here we are, the world is looking for that one virus, but every virus, every fungus, every bacteria is just like a baby. It goes through all these stages. And while it's in who knows what stage, it may affect you in one stage and her in another stage. Okay? There's not 10,000 different viruses and 1,000 bacteria. There isn't. It's them changing according to your terrain. That's why they will never find the cure for cancer. They're never going to find it. How long have they been looking for it? Since what, 1819? Something like that? How can they? I just showed you a chart where the whole body's involved every second. Do you think you're going to find that one thing? You know what's got to happen? You got to go back and balance the whole deal. That's how you get rid of chronic conditions. You balance the whole deal. You balance the terrain. You know what your terrain is? It's your blood and your lymphatic system. You purify that. But if your liver's plugged up, you can't purify them because going through the liver is only going to make the condition worse, and you're going to say, oh, this natural stuff don't work. It's a bunch of crap, this natural stuff. I took this herb, you're not going to believe it. I had 4 bowel movements that day. Well, hey, man, you're full of it. What can I tell you? Right? The guy complains, patients complain, I had 5 bowel movements the other day. Wow, keep your distance. Well, anyway. So pleomorphism is the growth. Are you getting this? Are you getting this? I'm telling you, they ain't going to find a cure. They're not going to find it. They're looking in the wrong place. Okay, we got to go. We haven't even got to the monitoring. Now the exciting part comes in. Okay, how to monitor excess and rebalance your system. Now, if you got a paper and pencil, I will tell you what to write down. Okay, first of all, don't write this down. See, the only thing you have to know is that minerals have to have a certain pH. Look at me for a second. This is very important. You're going to get it. Don't worry, you're going to get it. Your body has to have a certain pH for all these different minerals. You just don't take a mineral. You just don't take iodine. You don't take potassium. I mean, you do and you don't. Don't get me wrong. Are you getting me right here? I'm saying keep doing what you're doing. We're all wonderful. All our products are wonderful, but let's just redefine and keep redefining until we get it right. And we'll probably all be dead and gone before we really get it right. But I've seen this work. Okay, this is what I use on my children, my kids, my family. Just know that. Now, right away, we have systems that tell you to take saliva pH and urine pH, correct? Okay, now look at me. Now check this out. Do you realize that doesn't tell you squat? But yet it tells you something. It just doesn't give you the whole squat. Let me give you an example. If you have a high thyroid gland that's really working hard, you know what that's doing? Processing the food real fast. And a lot of it will turn to acid. So when you check somebody's urine or saliva, they'll say, wow, you're really acid. You better change your diet. The problem's with thyroid, man. That pH is telling you, so let's put this person on an alkaline diet. It's the first thing you do. Make sense? With me so far? Yeah. It's the thyroid. And I'm going to show you how to look for it and how to find it. Okay? Now, you don't even need to know this either. There's nothing that you really need to know. Let's get these things out of the way. Hey, look at it. You see all this? Heartbeat, respiration, digestion, tissue growth, tissue repair, temperature, hormone secretion. That's all controlled by your sodium level and your potassium level. Now look at those two minerals. They control your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system that controls all that stuff. In other words, I'm getting good at this. In other words, if this pH isn't right, but the urine and saliva isn't telling you the truth anyway, because you got a fast-moving thyroid gland that's causing your acid condition. It's not your diet. Okay, follow me on this. If you are just testing your urine and your urine is acid, what a lot of physicians would do is what? Give you more fruits and vegetables to alkalize your urine, correct? Right. But if it's your thyroid gland that's going too fast, too high, it's causing you to burn the food too fast and you're into an acid fermentation state, then what's the real problem? And what's an alkaline diet going to do for you? It's not going to fix the problem, is it? You with me? Yeah. It's not going to fix the problem. Okay, so let's go. Let's keep going. Now, and guess what? All this is controlled by that. See all that stuff up there? Are those the cause or the effect in the human body? They're all effects, aren't they? So why aren't we looking deeper? See where I'm coming from? I know you do. You probably know this stuff anyway. You're going to talk bad about me when I leave town anyway. So now this is what you write down. Normal range for saliva and urine is about 6.5 to 6.8. Vegetarians tend to be a little bit, more alkaline. Now let me ask you a question. If you're too alkaline for too long a period of time, you know what's going to happen? What happened to me? You're not going to have enough hydrochloric acid in your stomach to break down heavier protein. And if you're going to train, you're going to be weak, too alkaline, and your body's going to start using up muscle tissue. And nobody's going to find out why. Because it's not really a disease. It doesn't have symptoms like a disease, but why are you so tired all the time? Got me? Okay. So you got that written down? You memorized? No biggie. Now your body temperature is what your thyroid gland is doing. That should be between 98 and 99. Now, let me tell you something. If you've got a thyroid gland, if your temperature is 97 and your saliva is 5.5, is this confusing? That your saliva is, can I get in that picture you're taking of my material up there? Hey, how you doing, girl? Okay, now let's say your thyroid is very, very low, right? And your saliva is in acid state. So that makes sense because your saliva is telling you what your digestion is doing. And your food, because you've got a low thyroid, you're not really digesting your food because that's bringing the body temperature down. You're not cooking that food. You're not processing it. So here you got a what? A liver problem, a stomach problem. Your enzymes aren't working properly, all because of your body temperature's low, which is your thyroid. And if you're just doing your pH, is it really going to tell you? So now we know how to use our thyroid along with pH. It's okay. You don't have to memorize anything. Look at your blood pressure. Your blood pressure is your adrenal glands, folks. Your blood pressure should hang in around here someplace. And don't panic if it doesn't. You're going to die anyway. No, I was just kidding. Okay, now everybody's familiar with the adrenal glands, right? Okay, look at me for a second. Let's say you got high blood pressure. What's going on in that nervous system when you got high blood pressure? It's cooking, isn't it? I mean, right? You got a lot of pressure going on your heart valves, and your arteries and capillaries are expanding. And when you've got a high blood pressure, is your digestive system working normal, you think? It really isn't. Because everything affects everything. Go back to the chart. Everything affects everything, doesn't it? Okay, now let me ask you a question. Person comes in, super high blood pressure. Super high blood pressure, which means the adrenals are what? The adrenals are really pushing. Right? Now remember, all your glands work together. The pineal, pituitary, thyroid, adrenals. Right? It's all just this group working together. If something's wrong with one, the other are compensating. If they compensate too long, you get a chronic condition. Right? So if we got a high blood pressure, that body is cooking, you're probably going to be very acidic in the urine or in your digestion or something because you're just not processing properly. You're not. I got some patient studies. We're going to study them together. The pituitary, again, if they're all off, if your temperature's off and your blood pressure's off and your pulse is low, now remember, your temperature's your thyroid, your blood pressure's your adrenals, right? Well, if those two glands are off, right? And your pulse, now I'm bringing your pulse to it. Okay, now a pulse is nothing. It's not hooked to an organ. It tells you what your whole body is just pulsing slow. So if you're pulsing slow and all your glands are out of range, guess where the problem is? It's automatically in your pituitary. See what I'm saying? I'm going to go over it again. Did I throw you off? Okay, let's say my temperature's low, which is my thyroid gland, correct? Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes.
All right. I don't want to walk out here and think I wasted my time. Okay, I got a low temperature. My blood pressure, okay, is low too. And my blood pressure is my what glands? My adrenal glands. Everybody say it. Adrenal glands. Because when we start asking questions about these patients here, you're going to be able to see how to fix yourself. Okay, well, if they're all out of whack, then it's my pituitary, the master gland. It means that that master gland cannot control those glands anymore. You burnt yourself out somehow. You burn your thyroid and adrenals out. And now, of course, if they're burned out, the pituitary is what? It's got to be working real hard. So you better support the pituitary while you fix the other two glands. It's in the book. Just follow. All you got to do is use this chart. Oh, use these supplements, these herbs, these foods for the thyroid and the adrenals. I got it all charted out and mapped out in there. Okay, let's go down here. Now, here's the first patient. Let's have some fun. Please make a mistake. All right? Now, I got a patient that has an acid urine and acid saliva and has low adrenals. But normal thyroid, normal pulse. So in other words, this primary problem is the adrenal glands on this patient. Look how low that blood pressure is. So if you got a low blood pressure, but your thyroid, your temperature is normal, which means your thyroid is normal. Your pulse is 65, which is normal range. Okay? So that's normal. Then you know the problem is, what would it do you any good to take this patient and change their diet to alkaline acid or whatever to fix that part up here instead of fixing see what the primary problem is? See what the problem is with all these, everybody out there saying, make sure you check your urinary saliva. It's going to tell you everything. It's not. That's not, but you can do it at home. And guess what? You're going to take B vitamins. You're going to find out, wait a minute, this is acidifying me. This is acidifying me. You're going to take something healthy. You're going to find out, this is terrible for my thyroid. Hey, Joe, I thought you said this was good for your thyroid. Hey, man, it is good for my thyroid. Well, it's not good for my thyroid. It blew it up. Don't talk to me again. You see what I'm saying? all the information that we hear is not right, even though it's right. It's a one-size-fits-all planet. And you got to find out where do you fit. And you know, most of it is emotional. We do it to ourselves. We get tied in. You know, I mean, I've been through suicides. I laid in bed for 2 years. You know, I mean, I've been through it. I've been through it, so I know. And what do we do when we get emotionally upset? We eat. We try to find a way out, and we destroy ourselves. But maybe that's normal. You know, see you later. You know, whatever. So we got this guy down?
Yeah.
Well, what would you do for him?
Adrenal support.
That's right. You'd support this person's adrenal. And then see what happens up here. But it could be a supplement that he's taking. Maybe he overworked his adrenals too long. Maybe he's, you know. Now, then you start, but this is for you. But then I started asking the patient, well, what do you do? You know, what have you done? Oh, I hate my job. I hate my boss. I don't know why the hell I had kids. I mean, oh my God, I'm going crazy. You know. Oh, well, that might have something with a burnout over here. You know, and then you start questioning yourself. That's why you want to change supplements every once in a while. Change companies, because every company processes their things different. Walk through and find out. Oh, we got a better process. We got a better supplement. We got a better this. We got a better that. Maybe there's nothing better. Maybe there's just something that fits right. Maybe that's the definition of better. So nobody argues about it. Right? No sense of being controversy. That's one thing we don't want to be. And that is the truth. We just want to know where we fit and what fits with us. Okay, we got a patient here. Let's look at another patient. Who can figure this guy out? His urine's normal. Acid saliva. Am I supposed to quit now? Is that a sign? What is it? Just I'll be right back. I'll find out. Okay, what do we got? You're right, digestive system. Everything else is normal on this patient. So what are you doing, man? Maybe you need enzymes, maybe you need natural bacteria. Oh, I'm taking this multiple, this and that multiple. I'm taking a lot of my protein powders. They're all good. I'm taking a perfect B complex. I take 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. And you're going, huh? You ain't an elephant. You're not a cow. You weigh 150 pounds, man. Okay? Listen. Mass versus synergy. They found out that one apple, has a more positive effect with 5 milligrams of vitamin C than 1,500 milligrams of ascorbic acid. Mass versus synergy. We're talking synergy here. I'm having fun so far. You guys having some of this stuff, grabbing some of this stuff? Because you don't need to know everything. You really don't. So you figured this person out. So what are we going to do? You're right. Might have a toxic liver, might be low in enzymes. At least it shows where the problem is. Check out how much stuff they're taking. Oh my God, I used to take so much stuff. Oh, that's how I learned what the word flatulence meant. I'm glad somebody's with me here. Okay. What do we got here? Oh, this is a tricky one. Tricky one. Look at, why is that thyroid acidic? You're right. Who said thyroid? That's true. Here's a person that's got a pulse that's low, which be confusing. Oh, you got low pulse. Low temperature, well, but your adrenals are fine, everything else is fine. So in other words, if we fix this thyroid, this urine's going to change, or vice versa. Or vice versa. Right? But at least you got an idea. At least you got an idea. And the best thing to do is cut everything out and start over and take a little bit of one thing for 3 or 4 days, test it. And by the way, remember, you do this for 3 straight days, once a month, and you're done. You don't do it all the time, by the way, unless you want to. I'm going to try a new supplement tomorrow. Yeah, I found something out there at the health expert. I'm going to try it. Well, take it for a couple of days, and then do your testing. You're going to find out, hey, man, this ain't for me. And remember, I'm up here not crucifying or knocking anything. I'm promoting everything. Right? Aren't I promoting everything? In the right direction, though, so none of us get hurt. Okay, well, that was good. I should have put more of these because they're fun once you learn it and start looking at them, you know. Let's look at this other one here. I'm leaving it totally up to you on this one. Who said that? Yeah? Why? Is everybody signaling me to get out of here or something? What's this music over here? That's right, the master gland is not holding everything together because someplace in that all those circles that we looked at, we blew ourselves out. We blew ourselves out. That's obvious right there, huh? And you know what you would do? You would support the pituitary right away, and then a couple of weeks later, try and see what it fixed. Because if you hit the priority right, it's going to fix everything. All the supplements are in the book. That would be difficult for me to ask. You might want to support it with raw pituitary, homeopathic pituitary, right? There's a lot of different ways of supporting the pituitary. That's why I write the books, you know. Hopefully we have another one here because this is fun. Oh. Well, anyway.
Question about the last one?
Yeah, we can go back to the last one.
If the blood pressure was high instead, would still be abnormal.
If the blood pressure was high, she's saying, which is the adrenals, if the adrenals were up,
would that still be pituitary?
would it still be pituitary?
Possibly thyroid.
The pituitary is the master gland, but now we got high blood pressure with a low temperature. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And you're asking me what, if it's still the pituitary?
Yes.
Well, let me ask you a question. You got a person, okay, we got high blood pressure, right? Let's say you got a person that's 5'4" and weighs 260 pounds, right? Doesn't exercise, fries his chicken and lard. He walks in with high blood pressure and all the other readings like this. What would you say?
Thyroid.
You'd probably say thyroid, wouldn't you? Let's say a skinny dude walks in. Now you got a fast burner. It's adrenals. That's in the book too. Okay, but if everything is shot like this, you go right to pituitary and support it. Now, if you got a high blood pressure, if your adrenals are really, really cooking, and you support, and you push that master gland, you're going to have higher blood pressure. But you'll know it right away. I'm going to support the master gland, you're gonna take something, right? And then the doctor's gonna say, hey, blood pressure's 10 points higher than it was last time you were here. Oh, okay. You're looking at me strange. Is it my collar?
Well, if you put the conditions of the weight and all that, then everything changes, right? You can't even do that anymore. If you've got a skinny person with everything, now everything changes, right? Because that just changed.
Well, yeah, but you'll still get the exact readings from that person. Whether this, you're gonna get that reading anyway. Okay, let's go back. Let's say we have a skinny person that's very, very nervous and very, very hyper that has a high blood pressure and the rest of these readings. Is that gonna help answer your question?
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's a different protocol then. So
Yes.
The result's different, so that it's kind of arbitrary unless you have all the information.
That's right. You have to have all this information.
Plus more, plus their weight and their diet and everything to make an accurate assessment.
Well, first of all, if you're a physician, this is very easy for you because you got so much information on the patient. Okay, but now I'm teaching lay people this so they know that something's wrong, or they know that they're doing something wrong, and they can test their supplements, test themselves while they're sick, and they can do all this stuff, okay? And you're asking me a real technical question, which if you're a physician, yeah, you're going to get a lot of information. I got hundreds of doctors using this system, and they got more information. But that's a good question because now you're going to ask. I'm teaching you, okay? Now, if this was you with high blood pressure, what would it be?
My blood pressure is adrenal.
I know, but why would it be that way in you? You know yourself better than anybody. Hypothetically, right now, you have high blood pressure. Okay, what are you possibly? What are you doing or what are you taking that might beef up your blood pressure? Are you married? Something to do. That's the first thing I would tell you. Yeah, I'm married. Okay, we got rid of him.
Stress, okay. Stressed out.
Okay, so let's say, okay, good. She knows herself. Stress, emotional stuff. Okay, so she might want to use a Bach flow remedy or a homeopathic thing, settle herself down a little bit. Right? Use Celtic salt. Don't use regular salt. Celtic salt will actually lower the adrenals. It'll balance the pH in the bloodstream. Celtic salt. You want to use Celtic salt.
What about Himalayan salt?
Celtic salt is what I've tested. Yeah, Himalayan salt is good. It's good. But Celtic salt is Dr. Barnes wrote a book on Celtic salt. Okay. All right. So, what do you want to do? What do you want to do now? Okay. Now look at this book right here. Is all about why we need enzymes. Enzymes are foundational. You know all the circles? When you take digestive enzymes, it supports all of these things, right? And you know how and we become enzyme deficient by age 28 to 30. You know why? Anytime you get a fever, you use up enzymes. Anytime you use coffee, you burn out enzymes. Anytime you work out and exercise, you burn out enzymes. I thought exercise is good. It is. But you're supposed to have a lot of raw food and take enzyme supplements. Okay? Are you with me? So we need, anybody who eats cooked food needs enzymes. You need enzymes.
Now, is that something you would do every day or just to get
Every meal, every day, I take enzymes for 20-something years. Absolutely. You eat cooked food because, look, they have so many diseases of the pancreas, they call it syndrome X. Hypo, hyper, pancreatic, what? Cancer, pancreatic this, hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia, hyperinsulinism, well, of course they are. It only weighs 8 ounces, and every time you eat a cooked food, and read the research in there. Anytime you eat a cooked food meal, okay, Dr. Kochikov proved that your white blood cells go sky high. In other words, when white blood cells are sky high, you go into a state of infection after a cooked food meal. Now, that might sound a little obnoxious right now. But guess what? Your white blood cells carry more enzymes than any other cell in the body. And they have to migrate over to aid the digestion process by dumping enzymes in the small intestine and the pancreas. So you're stealing from Peter to pay Paul when you are eating cooked food. When you were eating, and then he gave the same people raw food, and guess what? There was no augmentation of white blood cells. I hate to throw in that big word, augmentation. It's kind of, you know. There was no augmentation of white blood cells. Got the picture here? So we put enzymes in all our formulas because it's foundational. No matter what you see on that chart, enzymes are foundational for that reason. And now, if this herb book, it's got 133 conditions. It's got the diet for the condition. It's got alkaline diet in here. It's got cleansing diet in here. It's got the homeopathic, the water cure, the vitamin cure, and everything for 133 conditions. So this is like your Bible. Okay? All the formulas here, you know, here's one right here. I used to be able to see that without glasses. Oh, well, you read it. This has got your monitoring system in it and a ton of other things. Okay? Who's been a real good student?
I told you to drink water.
Huh? All right. You get the herb book.
I was taking care of you. I brought the
You'll get the herb book.
She brought you the water.
Who got up? You brought it. I'll sign those for you later. I gotta go downstairs. I gotta go downstairs. You have to sign books if you want your books signed or if you want any books at all. You know?
What booth?
All books. Oh, booth. I don't even know.
I came from home.
What booth is it? 316? Wow. Oh, conditions for shipment. Okay. I have nothing else to give away. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about. No? No? Okay.
Dr. Santillo,
Now,
do
hold
you
on.
find, Dr. Santillo,
Yes.
you've talked about homeopathics. Do you find that using homeopathics and mixing herbs in them is really essential? Take just a small
Are you
amount of
talking
herbs?
about mixing the physical substance of herb
Yeah.
with a homeopathic tincture?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You mean in one combination?
Uh-huh.
Or taking two together?
Taking that homeopathic combination formula and putting a little bit of herb.
That works very good, but just a little monitor to find out. There we go. You know, I usually don't take questions.
I use that a lot, and it works
No.
very well.
It's never good for the speaker to take a question. You know why?
Oh, one second.
You know why? Let's say I'm up here talking about anything that's really, really important. And all of a sudden you get some wise guy out there and says, well, Dr. So-and-so said this. That throws confusion into the crowd. When the crowd should leave, pick and choose what they want to learn about and then go do it. Okay? So it's really not always safe to take questions, but I'll do it because I know what I'm talking about. You ain't gonna get me. You're not gonna catch it. Too fast. Too fast.
When you take enzymes, you take them.
Next question. What?
Do you take them before, after?
The best way Dr. Howell, who developed enzymes in 1933 from the National Enzyme Company, said take one before and one in the middle of your meal.
And which one is best?
Huh?
Which one is best?
Which one you mean? Which? Make sure if you take an enzyme, you got to read the book now, really, because it's like explaining a symphony over the telephone. You need to take enzymes that have all four major families. There's only four major families. Protease digests what? Protein. Amylase digests starch and carbohydrates and sugars, right? Lipase digests. Dr. Dalton at Tufts University found out that 86% of obese people lack what enzyme do you think they lack? Lipase. They're not breaking the fats down properly. And then there's lactase, of course, for dairy, but lactase is an amylase, so when somebody puts products together, they'll put all those in there. And then cellulase breaks down fiber, because butyric acid, a major food for the small intestine, comes from fiber. And everybody says, well, fiber is just bulk. It is not. Fiber carries tons of nutrition in there. And it has a frequency to it. Now we can talk bananas. Okay? You and I have talked enough today, woman. You're going to try to trick me here. Go ahead.
I'm not, I'm just floored by the fact that you've been involved with Gerson therapy and Hippocrates Institute. I've been studying
Sorry. Someone's doing that. Hey, listen, we can shut this off so I can walk in front of her now. You know how to shut this off?
Do you have your own clinic?
No, I don't have a plug on.
So how do you see the patient?
I don't. I practiced for 32 years. I treated over 26,000 people, and no more. No more. I help, physicians around the world. Been around a long time, know a lot of people. Go ahead, finish your question. You got time.
Well, I'm asking, did you change, how do you feel about the Gerson therapy, and did you intervene, did you add?
Let me talk about that. Okay, now it's good because, of course, Martha Gerson runs it now. The dad is dead. But Max Gerson, you know what he used for enzymes before they had enzymes? Raw liver. The patients drank raw liver and carrot juice because he knew they needed the enzymes. And that's what he was given. And he's the one that developed all these enemas, and stuff like this. And Whitmore comes along and started using chlorophyll, okay, and stuff like that. And
Would you recommend someone without cancer to use Gerson therapy as
Sure.
preventative?
Well, now, okay, ask that question loud. Say that. Ask that question loud enough. So
Would
everybody
you
can hear.
recommend someone without cancer to use the Gerson therapy as preventative measure?
Anybody answer that question here?
Yeah,
I would use it for a period of time.
I did that.
Well, wait a minute. See, here we go. This is what's wrong with questions
Well,
right
you
here.
asked the question, doctor, did anyone do it here? I did it.
Good.
And it makes you tired because you're detoxing.
Okay. Now everybody cool down for a minute. Okay. That's what happened with her. If we would have monitored it, we would have found out that it probably lowered what on her? Probably lowered the temperature, the thyroid. You see what I'm saying? But for me to answer this question is going to take me half an hour. Anytime you do any type of a cleanse, first of all, what are you cleansing? What type of person is cleansing? Where are the poisons and the toxins that are stored in the liver, kidneys, bladder? Which one of these organs are strong? Which ones are weak so I can support the weak ones? See, there's a lot to cleansing. So to ask a general question is good so you can understand that there's no answer to it.
So how will you know?
That's what the monitoring
So
system is for.
basically what you're saying is no cookie cutter for everybody. You have to get all the details together and then you try.
If you learned that today from my talk, then you got it. Then you got it. Forget about the rest. But the monitoring system is so effective because now if what's your name back there? Irish girl?
Katie,
Katie? Okay, now what other symptoms do you have, Katie, when you did you cleanse? Fatigue?
yeah,
Any burning urine? Any dark urine? Urine?
no,
Okay. Well, anyway, fatigue means that you're what? You're detoxing, blood's thick, low in oxygen. But see now, if she would have monitored herself, she could have taken something, let's say, if the thyroid was down during the cleanse, maybe she would want to take some seaweed or something green in juice form to boost up and balance. It's all about this. But, when I fast, I get tired too, but I let it go. I crash, I'll sleep, I'll be ornery. So what? So what?
well, you can't do it when you're working full time.
No, I did, but, no biggie. But the best way to, what?
I said, get it, everybody's the same.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's
Well, that's what you, if you, just get it. Just get out. What?
I said, she might cannot fast and work. The next person.
Yeah, yes.
What do you-
Okay.
What do you
Hey,
think about genetics?
hey,
Genetics.
excuse me. I trained on the 26-day fast. Ran track. Ran the World Games. Just on chlorophyll. Everybody's different. But what's different about me, I get right back on it, man. You know what I mean? When I'm done with the fast, I get right back on it. I get on this monitor, okay, I need thyroid, I need pituitary, I need this, boom, 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 boom. Okay? See, this tells you what you need too, doesn't it? How does it tell you what you need? Give me some feedback. How does it tell you what you need?
Based on what your
Your
blood
readings,
pressure is.
yeah. So whatever you're eating, whatever you're fasting, whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking, I mean, look, if you just break up with your husband, break up with your girlfriend, or boyfriend or whatever, take your readings and find out, man. That thyroid's going to be going bump, bump. Oh, she was so beautiful. Bump. Hey, who's that chick over there, man? Whoa, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. You watch your emotions go up and down with people. Did I answer your question? You all done with it? No, let's finish it. What do you got? You think you got it? Well, something else comes with it. No. Okay, now, what about genetics?
The genetics with eating for your blood type and that, do you feel that's narrowing down the problems a little bit?
I don't want to comment on
Or
it.
is it creating?
I really don't want to comment on anybody's work, anybody else's knowledge. This works for me. And please don't take that personal.
I have a question.
When you pay the monitoring, the pHs, that was before
Yeah,
the body.
that's why you really have to read the book like when. Okay, first of all, you're only going to do it for 3 days. Oh, you want your first morning urine, and then you're going to do it like around 10 o'clock, and then around 4 o'clock. To see how you do it during the day. Because look, here's the key: if you get up in the morning and you're really asleep, but by 2 o'clock the pHs are perfect, is there anything wrong? No, because in the morning you should be ascetic. Why? You're dumping waste. If you're alkaline, you're going to say, gee, I had a sail before I went to bed. And you could be alkaline. You see, this is just a roadmap to take you someplace. This is not everything that you need to know. But it gives you a roadmap of what's going on. Now, like he asked a question about the blood types and all this kind of stuff. Well, how many people here are involved in Dr. Marnado's blood stuff? Blood type A, blood type G, A, B. So are you involved in that? Has it helped you? Okay. Now, to make a comment on something like that, you got to remember, blood types were developed when? How many thousands of years ago? Okay. All right, so what was true then is not true now. So you figure it out. You figure it out. Any more questions before I get out of here? If you're at work? Yes?
If you're trying to get your diet from being more acidic into being more alkaline, can you comment on the water?
Comment on the water?
On water.
Okay. Now remember, I will be downstairs signing books for an hour before I watch this thing. Now, water. Alkaline water is fantastic. But should you use 8.0, 7.5, 8.0, 8.5, or 9.5? I mean, I use the Kangen water machine to get my dog 8.0, but you know how I know? I check it. I check and see what's doing to me. There's the answer. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? No. Okay. They asked me about what's the best water to use. And I said, I use the Kangen water filter, but it's got 8.0, 8.5, 9.0, and 9.5 pH. So which one's going to be best for you? I said, fantastic. Yeah. Test your urine and saliva. See, first there's a chapter on saliva, then there's a chapter on urine, and how to add the pulse, then in my book, it maps it out. But for a quick test, drink your water, then test your urine for a couple of days and say, okay, well, I'm too alkaline. You know what happens if you're too alkaline? You're not going to digest your protein because you need hydrochloric acid to break down your protein. I was too alkaline. I lived on raw food for 7 years and I was a vegetarian for 20 years. It didn't work for me. When I started training and competing, I couldn't do it. I needed some fish. I needed some heavier protein. I started taking amino acids and stuff like this. Okay? You guys got to be bored and tired by now, so I'm gonna let you split.
Wait, one more question. She had
Of course.
a question about nanotechnologies in the supplement.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
I going in the right direction. We're talking subatomic here.
Are they safe enough?
Huh?
Are they safe enough?
Are they safe enough? I haven't looked at them. I really don't know. I understand the work that you're doing on it, but I cannot comment on, and remember, I shouldn't. I shall not comment on a book. I'm not commenting on anybody's product, because you want to know something? Go out there, let's find out who's it's good for. Right? Go find out who's it's good for. It's got to be good for somebody. I mean, look at homeopathic. They take snake venom, make homeopathic tinctures out of it, and cure tumors with it. Everything here is to be used. Everything here is good. But I don't like that thing that people say. It's all good. You know, it's all good, man. It's not all good. You know what I say? Don't tell me it's all good. I want resistance. I want to go forward. Don't tell me it's all good. You know, I had a stepson that committed suicide. It wasn't good at the time, but I made it good. Okay? It should be we can make all things good. That's the way. It isn't all good. Right? When you go through a trial and something, don't sit there and tell me, oh, it's all good. You don't look good to me. You look half dead to me. So it's not all good, is it? I don't know who created that it's all good stuff. But man, don't come up and say it to me. My credit's go up on that. Let's make it good. And you want resistance. Right? Failing. You want to learn from your mistakes, right? We want to fail. We want to fail. That's right. I'm gonna rub somebody the wrong way to that lecture. You can't please everybody, but you can't worry about it either. I gave it my best. Well,
How long are you gonna be here today? Downstairs?
to 2 o'clock.
Okay, so we can only get your books till 2 o'clock today.
Although my books are there all the time. Yes, sir.
Where are your books on sale?
Who knows where my books are?
Nobody sees.
Oh, man. 316?
No, they're not there.
Oh,
I
man.
just came from there. They're not at the book table. They said they brought them up here.
They did, it should be out there.
Go see if they're outside. Go see if they're outside. Open the door. See if they're out there.
I got the third book down at the table.
Yeah, down at the table where all the books were. They were all down there when I came up here. Yeah.
No, there's none on here that I.
Oh, man. I don't even know where to go myself. Huh?
They have a table with the books.
There is a table at the bookstore. All my books are on the end.
You better start printing